in connection with this IED attack at Tronglaobi village. So, according to police, also the accused known as Palal Kuki Thadau is also one of the self-styled finance head of the non-Shu group, Kuki armed group, that is the United Kuki National Army.
Okay.
But not only this, Nayan, the accused, S. Palal Kuki, is involved in various cases, not only in this IED attack, but also various cases. Some of the cases that can be mentioned as bomb blast incident that happens on 16 December 2025, and
Okay.
also the firing incident in Monombiles in the intervening night of 3rd and 4th February. This is just against the formation of the government that the government formed on February 4th. And not only this, but also he was involved in the firing incident at Kapeng area, opposing the Chief Minister's visit to Sanpur. So, and this is not only a thing, but also he was arrested in the first race. He was also involved in the incident of firing with the CRPF. So, these arrests made by the security forces and also by the NIA is one of the very biggest development that has been investigation carried out by one of the...
So, Johnson?
not only the... Yeah. Yes,
so, Johnson,
yes,
my understanding is all of these cases that you mentioned, the same person has been a part, the one who got arrested was also involved in these cases, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In all these cases, he was also one of the accused. So, these are NIA arrests, the security arrests. Yes, Nayan, one thing is that this Palal Kuki was formally arrested on 23rd of July, also by the security forces,
Right.
in with the various extortion case and various cases also. So, this Palal Kuki Thadau is one of the very main role who plays a very main role in the ongoing conflict, in the ongoing crisis. And yes, before the official statement released by the NIA and the police from the Manipur Police Department, during the initial stage of the investigation, NIA also stated that some of the UKNA cadets were arrested by the NIA. But
Okay.
during that time of arrest, there were no official statement that those two arrested UKNA cadets were confirmed were involved in the IED attack. But today, but yesterday itself, NIA and Manipur Police officially confirmed that this S. Palal Kuki Thadau is involved. Is also one of the main accused in the attack that has been carried out at Tronglaobi incident, because the Tronglaobi incident is one of the very main concerns. As one infant was killed.
So this one arrest is definitely of prime importance. Johnson, thank you so much for joining us from Imphal and also giving us all of these details. Right now, another shocking aviation safety scare that involved the Air India pilot is again come to light. Now, the sources are saying that the pilot was under the influence of drugs after partying with the cabin crew during a short Phuket layover. Now, this is hours before the takeoff. The pilot was later found disoriented in the cockpit floor, forcing the co-pilot to intervene. Now, stabilizing the aircraft, which eventually landed in New Delhi, the flight suffered 11 hydraulic failures in just 2 minutes and dropped 300 feet. Now, this has raised some serious questions and concerns over the cockpit safety and also pre-flight checks, crew conduct, and whether India's aviation rules are strict enough to prevent such accidents. Take a look at this detailed report and everything that we know so far.
A raging party just hours before takeoff. The Air India pilot under probe took crew members to a party during the Phuket layover.
The pilot in command of the Air India flight that witnessed nearly 300 feet loss of turbulence mid-air while returning back to New Delhi from Phuket was in such a bad state that he had to be assisted even to come out of the flight after it landed in the national capital. What sources tells us is that the crew members of this particular aircraft have now in fact lodged a complaint with the airline, clearly claiming that the pilot in command was in a state that was not a good state to be in command of an aircraft mid-air.
A disoriented pilot found sitting on the cockpit floor under the influence of drugs. Sources have confirmed to Republic that the pilot in command tested positive for drugs. Marijuana was found in his bloodstream. The situation had turned so bad that the co-pilot had to stabilize and land the aircraft. Meanwhile, 11 hydraulic failures occurred in 2 minutes. The flight had dropped 300 feet. Stunning onboard failures revealed.
Now, this is a post-flight report, the maintenance post-flight report of the flight in question, AI 2379. And what this single sheet shows is all the warning signs, the warning maintenance status messages that were triggered immediately after the drop. You have here, this is GMT, the timing at which all of this was reported. It's recorded in GMT. At least 12 or 13 of them were triggered. Low pressure, hydraulic system, hydraulic blue and yellow system, low pressure, hydraulic green and blue system, low pressure. The auto flight, the autopilot was triggered off. It was disconnected at least twice.
What explains these hydraulic failures?
If this is showing as triple hydraulic failure, I am surprised. How come the aircraft was taken all the way to Delhi? Now, if there was clear air turbulence, as I have said, which is what happens over Bay of Bengal, that side moving over from Myanmar, Southeast Asia, coming this side into India, then that can be a combination along with this, which can cause the downward draft. This is my first take on these messages that have come, that could have caused the draft, downward draft of 300 feet.
India's lenient flight rules make another Ahmedabad disaster almost inevitable. A pilot loses his license for only 3 months. The pilot loses his license only after the third offense. Partying negligence cannot take precedence over human lives.
Bringing you more breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, where Russian President Vladimir Putin has identified India and China as key partners, showing expanding interest in the joint development and the use of the Northern Sea route. Now, Putin is putting extra pressure in making sure that Russia should be able to unlock and expand its commercial potential in the northern Arctic waterways, also developing the Northern Sea route into a major maritime trade corridor connecting Asia and Europe. India is also showing growing interest in the Northern Sea route. Also, viewers, for your information, this specific route roughly saves time around 10 to 14 days as compared to the traditional Suez Canal route. So, of course, India is a key partner in eyeing on the Russia's Arctic route. We also have to the reaction of India on this matter.
Россия именно всегда выступала, да и сейчас подтверждает свою готовность к сотрудничеству, к использованию преимуществ Северного морского пути. Разумеется, в рамках действующего международного морского права. И те государства, которые хотят с нами работать, проявляют к этому интерес. А это прежде всего наши друзья, Китай, Индия, другие страны. Они обсуждают с нами эти вопросы.
All right, viewers, tensions are escalating once again over the ongoing student protests, this time with the BJP now stepping up its attack on Hemant Soren government. Over the police action against the protesting students, police and senior officials have reportedly reached the protest site in Ranchi late at the night, attempting to remove protesting students from the spot. But there was harassment of the female protesters also. The BJP has accused the government of trying to suppress the agitation and is demanding a CBI probe into the alleged irregularities in JPSC and JSSC examination. We have all the details in this report. Take a look.
Tensions escalated again after Jharkhand police entered the students' protest site late at night, sparking a fresh political row. Leader of opposition Babulal Marandi strongly reacted to the late-night police action, saying senior officials reached the protest site and used force in an attempt to remove the protesting students.
देखिए, ये तो सब जगह दिखता है। अस्पतालों में कई छात्रों ने इलाज कराए हैं, वाटर कैनन भी छोड़ा गया है, आंसू गैस भी छोड़ा गया है, लाठीचार्ज भी हुआ है। और इसके बाद अगर कोई मंत्री ये कहे कि हमारी पुलिस ने कोई बल का प्रयोग नहीं किया, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि इससे बड़ी और सरकार की क्रूरता दूसरा और कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है, मारने के बाद भी।
Marandi also says cancelling an examination is not enough and has demanded a CBI investigation into the alleged irregularities.
पहले जो शुरू हुआ था उसको बदल दिया यानी उसको पूरी तरह से छोड़ करके और बाद में पूरा टीम को बदल दिया, तो फिर एफिडेविट करके अलग से उन्होंने डाल दिया। अगर उस एफिडेविट के साथ ये डायरी भी कोर्ट को सुपुर्द कर देता तो मैं समझता हूँ कि हाई कोर्ट अच्छी तरह से पढ़ लेता और हाई कोर्ट को समझ में आ जाता कि इसमें भारी लेन देन हुआ, गड़बड़ी हुआ, तो शायद सीबीआई जांच को भी हाई कोर्ट ही कहा देते। अब सीबीआई से जांच करा।
The BJP has now stepped up its protest targeting the Jharkhand government over alleged lathi charge and the handling of the student agitation.
देखिए, बड़ा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि केवल लाठी चार्ज नहीं हुआ, कटीले तारों का एकदम लगता था जैसे फोर्ट्रेस बना दिया गया, वाटर कैनन की बरसात हुई, लाठियां चली, डंडे चले, लात जूते सब से हमारे जो अगली पीढ़ी के जो भविष्य है उनको जो है पीटा गया, उनको जो है बेइज्जत किया गया है।
BJP MP Nishikant Dubey has questioned the government's resistance to a CBI probe into the examination row.
सीबीआई जांच क्यों नहीं देना चाहते हैं? क्योंकि धर्मेंद्र जो पकड़ाया है वो वहां के शीर्षस्थ अधिकारी के घर से पकड़ाया है, उनका कंप्यूटर ऑपरेटर है। उनको पता है कि यदि जांच बढ़ेगी तो ये जांच हेमंत सोरेन से लेके वहां के मुख्य सचिव तक जाएगी, इसलिए ये सारी समस्याएं चल रही हैं। और उनको जो है माफी भी मांगनी चाहिए, सरकार से समर्थन वापस लेना चाहिए और उनको ये दिखाना चाहिए कि वो छात्र हितों के साथ हैं, अन्यथा ये लगेगा कि वो सोरोस के एजेंडे पर काम करते हैं।
And yet, police unleashed its brutality against the student protesters.
मैं चुप नहीं हूँ, झारखंड पे मैं चुप नहीं हूँ। प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में मैंने सीधा क्लियरली बोला है, we do not appreciate any violence against our students. मैं चुप नहीं हूँ, खुल के बोल रहा हूँ।
The latest confrontation comes days after police used water cannons, tear gas and lathi charge when job aspirants breached barricades near the Jharkhand assembly. Police said at least 14 personnel were injured in the clashes, while an FIR was registered against around 600 protesters. The students have been protesting alleged irregularities in JPSC and JSSC recruitment examinations and demanding accountability over the cancellation of exams. Now, with police action triggering fresh allegations and the BJP demanding a CBI probe, the Jharkhand exam row is turning into a larger political confrontation. For the protesting students, the demand remains clear: an investigation into the alleged exam irregularities and accountability for those responsible.
We're watching live this morning. Coming up after a short commercial break, major revelation come to light in Air India dope scandal. Pilot and cabin crew did not undergo breath analyzer test as the equipment was not available at the Phuket airport. All of this after a short break.
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip.
finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट। खुद अपनी आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते शहीद होते देख के मैं आया हूँ। बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं, बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को, सारी दुनिया को टैग करें और हम तक पहुंचाएं यार। इस वक्त यहाँ पे एम्बुलेंसेस की तादाद जो है वो कम पड़ गई है, गाड़ियां कम पड़ चुकी हैं। लोग जो है अपने जख्मियों को अपनी मदद आपके तहत कोई इधर से पकड़ा हुआ को उधर से, और रोड पे लहू ही लहू है। लगातार फायरिंग जारी है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम फलस्तीन में हैं कसम से। इन्होंने वो हालत बनाई हुई है। खाली करेगा, खाली करो, खाली करो। फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना इस वक्त बेशुमार नौजवान शहीद हो जख्मी हो चुके हैं और बेशुमार लोग शहीद हो चुके हैं। देख सकते हैं ये पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की बर्बरियत और जो है ना पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना ये देखें किस तरह नौजवानों को, किस तरह स्ट्रेट फायर मारे जा रहे हैं नौजवानों को। ये देखिए पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस ने स्ट्रेट फायर किए नौजवानों पे। ये देखें लोग, छोड़ो। हमारे बहुत सारे भाई जख्मी हो चुके हैं। अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे, अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे। क्या सूरत आली? सूरत बहुत बुरी है, सबको मारे जा रहे लगातार। पिछले तक 3 बंदूकों हेडशॉट इन्होंने किया है, कुत्ते के बच्चों ने 15 से 20 लोग और बहुत सारे बंदूकों ने इनको जख्मी किया है। बहुत सारे हमारे अल्लाहु अकबर। 15 से 20 नौजवानों को गोलियां लग चुकी है, कम से कम 15 से 20 नौजवानों को गोलियां लग चुकी है। बहुत सारे भाई हमारे जख्मी हो गए हैं भाई।
Day 7 of Hero Tiranga Trails 2026 took the expedition deeper into eastern Ladakh. Beginning at Pangong Saw, moving through Chushul War Memorial to Rezangla War Memorial, and concluding at Hanle. At nearly 14,000 feet, Pangong Saw set the stage for another demanding stretch of the journey, with the expedition navigating constantly changing altitude, terrain and riding conditions. From Pangong, the expedition reached Rezangla War Memorial, a landscape carrying the memory of one of the defining chapters of India's military history. The journey continued through these historically significant landscapes, carrying their stories of courage and service forward. The expedition features a diverse range of Hero Motocorp two-wheelers deployed across the journey: Splendor Plus, HF Deluxe Pro, Extreme Series, Glamour X, Destiny, Zoom Series. Different motorcycles, different capabilities coming together for one expedition across Ladakh's constantly changing terrain. Behind them is also the Hero Motocorp team on the ground, providing the support that keeps the machines, riders and the expedition moving through every leg of the journey. The expedition concluded its 7th day at Hanle. after a journey that took the riders from Pangong So through Rezangla and deeper into eastern Ladakh. With the machines on the road and the Hero team supporting the expedition on the ground, Hero Tiranga Trails 2026 continues its journey towards its culmination.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Umpteen number of times the Modi government also has taken resort to, whenever the bills have come where you need to take all stakeholders involved on board, and the government from the day one has said that insofar as FCRA is concerned, we can speak to anyone and everyone and convince them that this is not targeted at them. For example, the Home Minister himself has met not once, twice Christian delegations and told them that it is not targeted at them, and that even if you look at it, the contributions to church or churches in the country or missionaries just about 15 or 17%. And I have spoken to people in the agencies and they say that it's, our law also needs to be made compatible with, for example, the FATF.
Yes.
Likely, Niranjan, I can tell you that the bill might be brought in tomorrow and then referred to the JPC.
Okay, now this is turning out to be the tricky one, because we just had some more information that, for example, the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP wants the bill to go to the JPC, not withdraw or against, but they're saying, okay, send it to the JPC. But they also need the support of Sharad Pawar's party for delimitation. Not sure about this session, but at least in the next, maybe they're testing the numbers. But it's turning out to be really tricky with the numbers. What's the game plan there?
Well, you see, so far as numbers for a legislation like FCRA is concerned, that's not a problem, Niranjan. It does not need a special majority, in the sense it does not need a constitutional majority. Now, delimitation obviously is a work in progress. The government has a certain deadline in mind, for sure. But remember, delimitation by its very nature, apart from needing a special majority in parliament, in both the houses of parliament separately, it also needs to be passed by more than half the number of states. So it's a long process. I don't think, as I understand it, and as I have been given to understand when I have checked, that FCRA is in a...
Rape convict and nephew of former Karnataka CM Kumaraswamy Prajwal Revana caught with mobile phone inside prison. Former MP Prajwala seen enjoying VIP privileges. After mobile phone pen drive found in Prajwal Revana's cell, jail official suspended over security lapses. The question is, why stop at the jail official only? Major revelations come to light in Air India dope scandal. The pilot and cabin crew did not undergo breath analyzer test as the equipment was not available at Phuket airport. Air India continues to remain silent on the pilot dope scandal despite pilot testing positive for marijuana on 2 separate toxicology tests. Monsoon session of the Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate, expected to speak in the Lok Sabha today. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Republic. This is Karun Seth with you on live this morning, and we'll begin with our first story this morning. A pet pit bull attack has left a Patiala couple injured, with a woman requiring plastic surgery. Now, the incident took place in Guman Nagar, where Professor Shifali Sabarwal and her husband, a bank manager, Mr. Ankit Sabarwal, had visited the house. Now, as the gate opened, the dog allegedly charged at Shifali and mauled her. Now, her husband tried to rescue her but was also attacked. Both were rushed to Amar Hospital. Now, Shifali underwent surgery for her injuries. Now, we've seen a very brutal incident of this pit bull which has attacked this couple. Now, this couple, unfortunately, the woman, Ms. Shifali, was attacked, post which when her husband went to rescue her, he was attacked as well. The brutal injuries were so severe that the woman, actually the victim here, had to undergo plastic surgery. That's the severity of the bite here. The dog in question is a pit bull, and the incident has happened in Gumanagar. Now, if you see on your screens, there you see the pit bull actually attacking the woman. He has the woman in his grasp, and the husband trying to save her, post which, he attacked, and he continues to attack the lady. The pit bull is the dog in question here, if you see on your screen. It happened in the house compound, and the pit bull is continuously attacking the lady. You see another third person here who's actually trying to help them, who then rushes out. We see in the next visuals, tries and gets a stick as well. All right, moving on to international affairs, let's look at what's happening across the world. Now, the death toll has risen to 44 after an overloaded ferry capsized on Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe. Now, the ferry was carrying at least 114 passengers and 5 crew members when it overturned on Tuesday. Rescue teams recovered bodies from the lake while 77 people were rescued. Authorities are continuing the search as the exact number of passengers remains unclear. Now, a man killed his partner and child at home daycare that they operated in Minnesota before taking his own life, the police said. The attack was witnessed by another parent arriving to drop off a child who alerted police. 6 other children were at the daycare at the time but were unharmed and have since been reunited with their families. Severe storms swept across the Midwest, bringing tornadoes, heavy rain and flash flooding, while flooding and powerful winds damaged roads and disrupted power supplies. A wind gust of 99 miles per hour was recorded in Gary, Indiana, with several other areas reporting gusts of over 80 miles per hour. Forecasters said the system that moved from Iowa into Indiana appeared to qualify as a derecho, which is a prolonged straight-line wind event capable of causing widespread damage. Ecuadorian police seized 469 kilograms of cocaine from a truck near the Colombian border, with the packages carrying the image and name of Norwegian soccer star Erling Haaland. Now, officers found 370 packages concealed in a modified section of the vehicle and arrested the female driver, who was carrying Colombian identification. Authorities say Ecuador is a key transit hub for cocaine trafficking, with most of the drugs originating in Colombia. People gathered across northern Spain, including Mallorca, to witness the country's first total solar eclipse in more than a century. Now, crowds watched as the moon completely covered the sun for around a minute in parts of Spain shortly before sunset. The rare event came amid scorching summer temperatures and wildfires, prompting authorities to put additional public safety measures in place. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt will step down at the end of the month, President Donald Trump has announced. Now, the 28-year-old, the youngest person to hold the position, recently returned from maternity leave after the birth of her second child. Now, Leavitt said she had decided to leave to spend more time with her young children. Trump has not yet announced her replacement. Now, Zambia is heading to the polls with millions of voters set to decide whether President Hakainde Hichilema gets a second term. The election comes as Zambia looks to build on its economic recovery, but with opposition parties raising concerns over the cost of living and political freedoms, this comes a challenge. Now, with 13 challengers in the fray, the race is also being closely watched for a possible runoff.
Millions of Zambians are preparing to cast their ballot in an election that will decide the country's next president. President Hakainde is seeking a second 5-year term after taking office in 2021 following years of failed attempts to win the presidency. President Hakainde's campaign is banking on an economic recovery with inflation brought down, the currency stabilized and more than $12 billion of debt restructured. But for many ordinary Zambians, high food and energy costs remain a major concern. And the opposition is promising a different direction with jobs, farmers and young people at the center of its campaign. Opposition leader Brian says his alliance want to build what he calls a completely new Zambia.
I love Zambia and I love Zambians. Yes. I'm committed to working for them. Yes. Yes, it will be a new Zambia, a complete new Zambia.
And the change and the people, the prices, the milk prices, what's going to happen?
It will be a Zambia where farmers will be paid on time, a Zambia where opposition will campaign freely, a Zambia where police will only be there for public safety.
Brian is also putting Zambia's youth at the heart of his campaign, promising greater opportunities across agriculture, mining and other sectors.
A Zambia where we focus on the youths. Youth in agriculture, youth in mining, and all across the sectors. Our priority number one are the youths. We are going to introduce a desk at State House for the youths.
President Hakainde's supporters, however, point to what they describe as a more peaceful campaign compared with previous elections.
I feel so good, so nice actually, especially that these campaigns are the most peaceful that we've ever seen. Look at me with a child on my back. And nothing has happened. We're safe, we went, we witnessed, and personally I'm hoping for HH to continue.
But the opposition has accused the government of squeezing dissent allegations that President Hakainde's administration rejects. The Tones Alliance has also alleged that recent raid on its offices was politically motivated and aimed at disrupting its campaign. The election will see voters choose not just the president, but also lawmakers and local government representatives. Around 8 million people are registered to vote, with 14 presidential candidates competing for the top job. Zambia's winner must secure more than 50% of the vote, meaning the country could head for a second round if no candidate crosses the halfway mark.
We pray for a peaceful and fair election. We are set to protect our vote. We've got our agents and our polling agents and monitors ready, and we're hoping that the international observers and then the European Union that I'm told are already in the country, we pray that they will assist in ensuring a peaceful and fair election in this.
For voters, the choice is ultimately between staying the course on economic recovery or backing an opposition promise of change, jobs, and greater political space. As Zambia votes, the country will be watching not just who wins, but whether the election delivers a clear mandate without a runoff.
Now, Lebanon's parliament has approved a controversial general amnesty law clearing the way for the release or reduced sentences of thousands of prisoners. The move follows a separate vote to abolish the death penalty and has exposed deep political and sectarian divisions over who should benefit. More on this report.
Lebanon's parliament has passed a controversial general amnesty law. The law comes a day after lawmakers voted to abolish the death penalty. The new law reduces life sentences and replaces death sentences with long prison terms. Some convicted militants and drug offenders will also be released.
عفو هذا بيشمل الكل
اوكي مش هذا العفو مش لشخص ولا لشخصين ولا لثلاثه، هذا عفو رفع المظلوميه عن هالناس يلي فاتت على المحكمه العسكريه وطلعت محكومه ظلما. لمن واحد عم يفوت بيحط لايك على فيسبوك كان عم ينحكم، لمن واحد عم بيحط شير على الفيسبوك، لمن عم بيحط بوست كان عم ينحكم. كان في هناك مظلوميه واستنسابيه.
Christian lawmakers sought amnesty for Lebanese who fled to Israel after its 2000 withdrawal.
انعمل عفو عام على معايير معينة. في ناس بتطلع اليوم، في ناس ما بتطلع اليوم، في ناس بتطلع بعد سنة، في ناس بتطلع بعد سنتين، لكن ما كان فينا نعمل قانون على قياس أشخاص. إذا بعد في ناس بالسجن وبيعتبروا حالهم مظلومين، هيدي الحكومة أمام مسؤولية، يا بتعمل إعادة محاكمة اليوم، يا أما بالاستئناف أو بالتمييز اللي عاملينه فيهم يصلحوا القضاء إذا بيعتبروا في أخطاء بالقضاء بأي محكمة كانت. فبالتالي نحن عملنا قانون عام.
The most controversial issue involved extremist Islamist prisoners. This includes firebrand cleric Ahmed Al-Asr, who was sentenced to death in 2017.
ولكن تركيبة مجلس النواب بشكل الحالي مثل ما شفنا امبارح أفقدوا جلسة النصاب، أجبرتنا أنه نروح للأفضل. الشيخ الأسير بيطلع بتصور بين سنة ونص سنتين وبعض من غيرهم، بس هيدا على الأقل هيدا أفضل الموجود، وبتخيل أنه صار تواصل معه وهو أكد أنه هو قبلين بهذا الشيء لأنه بيخلي سبيل عدد كبير من الموقوفين.
Supporters say many Islamist detainees were unfairly prosecuted and held for long periods without trial. Some foreign prisoners, mainly Syrian Islamist militants, are expected to be transferred to Lebanese intelligence for further action.
Now, rescue teams are involved in a race against time in earthquake hit Colombia. Search teams and local volunteers are digging through collapsed buildings in search for survivors as death toll rises and hundreds remain missing.
Two days after a powerful earthquake devastated western Colombia, the search for survivors is becoming a race against time. Rescue teams are working through the rubble in Cali, Pereira, Manizales and Cubdo, looking for any sign of life beneath the collapsed buildings. The 7.4 magnitude earthquake has killed at least 181 people and injured more than 2,500. At least 195 people remain missing, though civilian databases have put the numbers significantly higher.
En estos momenticos era una edificación hasta el día de ayer de 4 pisos, la cual constaba de un taller, la notaría en el segundo piso, estaban los apartamentos del tercero y cuarto piso. Ya sabemos todo a qué hora y qué fue lo que pasó. Lastimosamente se desplomó la notaría, alcanzamos a evacuar a todos, prácticamente los que estaban en el rango de la notaría, lo alcanzamos a evacuar. No sé si hay algunas personas que se han quedado atrapadas. ¿Por qué? Porque fue muy rápido la cosa.
The scale of destruction is forcing rescuers to work painstakingly through unstable debris, often by hand. But amid the devastation, there have been crucial breakthroughs. Rescuers have pulled survivors from the rubble, including a baby, while others have been rushed to safety.
Estamos aquí sirviéndole a la comunidad, donde muchísima gente ha venido, nos ha traído alimentación, hidratación, y vemos a todos los muchachos cercanos de este sector colaborando, ayudando a sacar a las personas que aún posiblemente se encuentren con vida. Ayer se sacaron algunas personas, otras ya perdieron la vida y otras las rescataron con vida. Y aquí estamos todavía pues en la lucha, en pie de fuerza, demostrando que Cali sí puede.
And it is not just professional rescuers on the ground. Residents are joining the operation, armed with hand tools, buckets and sheer determination.
Orando con las personas, pues ayer sacamos 2 personas vivas, sacamos 2 animales también, un gato, un perro. Ahorita suponemos que hay unos cadáveres porque ya se siente el olor, pues se siente el olor fuerte y entonces estamos escarbando en esa parte que estamos escarbando.
For volunteers like Carilo, the exhaustion is growing, but so is the determination to keep searching.
Siento, bueno, con ganas de trabajar, con ganas de ayudar, de colaborar, ¿sabes? Es algo que es humanitario, nace del corazón, Dios sabe por qué suceden las cosas y bueno, todo se lo dejamos a Él.
Aid agencies say the first 48 to 72 hours are crucial for finding survivors, though people can survive longer when they have access to food, water and air. As Colombia's rescue operation enters this critical window, every pile of rubble carries the possibility of another life waiting to be found. And across the disaster zone, rescuers and ordinary citizens are refusing to give up digging, searching and listening for a sign of hope.
All right, rape convicted nephew of former Karnataka CM Kumaraswamy, Prajwal Revanna, caught with mobile phone inside prison. Former MP Prajwal seen enjoying VIP privileges.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट?
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट। क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट। खुद अपनी आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते शहीद होते देख के मैं आया हूँ। बहुत हालात ख़राब हो चुके हैं, बहुत हालात ख़राब हो चुके हैं। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को, सारी दुनिया को टैग करें और हम तक पहुंचाएं यार। इस वक्त यहाँ पे एम्बुलेंसेस की तादाद जो है वो कम पड़ गई है, गाड़ियाँ कम पड़ चुकी हैं। लोग जो है अपने जख्मियों को अपनी मदद आपके तहत कोई इधर से पकड़ा हुआ को उधर से, और रोड पे लहू ही लहू है। लगातार फायरिंग जारी है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम फलस्तीन में हैं कसम से। इन्होंने वो हालत बनाई हुई है। फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना इस वक्त बेशुमार नौजवान शहीद जख्मी हो चुके हैं और बेशुमार लोग शहीद हो चुके हैं। देख सकते हैं ये पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की बर्बरियत और जो है ना पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना ये देखें किस तरह नौजवानों को, किस तरह स्ट्रेट फायर मारे जा रहे हैं नौजवानों को। ये देखें पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस ने स्ट्रेट फायर किए नौजवानों को। ये देखें लोग, छोड़ो। हमारे बहुत सारे भाई जख्मी हो चुके हैं। अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे, अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे। क्या सूरत आली? सूरत बहुत बुरी है, सब तो मारे जा रहे हैं लगातार। इतना तक 3 बंदूकों हेडशॉट किन्होंने किया है, कितने के बच्चों ने 15 से 20 लोग और बहुत सारे बंदूकों ने इनको जख्मी किया है। बहुत सारे अल्लाहु अकबर। 15 से 20 नौजवानों को गोलियां लग चुकी है, कम से कम 15 से 20 नौजवानों को गोलियां लग चुकी है। बहुत सारे भाई हमारे जख्मी हो गए हैं भाई।
All right, some breaking news coming in. The US is to fully withdraw from Iraq by end of September. Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi met with US Central Command, which is CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper, reaffirming September 30 as the final date for ending the US-led global coalition's military mission in Iraq, and saying October 1st will mark a new phase for Iraq with no foreign military presence and full national sovereignty. Now, this is a statement that's come in from al-Zaidi. Al-Zaidi also stressed that all weapons must be placed exclusively under state authority, saying this is essential to strengthening state sovereignty, ensuring security and stability, and advancing Iraq's development and prosperity.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
प्योर मसाला।
जरा सोच के देखिए, आपके पास कुछ ऐसा है जो आपकी दुनिया बदल सकता है। जानते हैं क्या? आपका अपना सोना। सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता? सोना आपको अपने सपनों का घर दिला सकता है, आपके बच्चों का भविष्य बना सकता है। सोना आपकी हर इच्छा पूरी कर सकता है। तो भारत की सबसे बड़ी गोल्ड लोन NBFC मुथूट फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और फिर देखिए सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता। मुथूट फाइनेंस, जहां विश्वास ही परंपरा है। कॉल कीजिए 1-800-313-1212।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट। क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Umpteen number of times the Modi government also has taken resort to, whenever the bills have come where you need to take all stakeholders involved on board, and the government from the day one has said that insofar as FCRA is concerned, we can speak to anyone and everyone and convince them that this is not targeted at them. For example, the Home Minister himself has met not once, twice Christian delegations and told them that it is not targeted at them, and that even if you look at it, the contributions to church or churches in the country or missionaries, just about 15 or 17%. And I have spoken to people in the agencies and they say that it's, our law also needs to be made compatible with, for example, the FATF. Yes. Likely, Niranjan, I can tell you that the bill might be brought in tomorrow and then...
Day 7 of Hero Tiranga Trails 2026 took the expedition deeper into eastern Ladakh. Beginning at Pangong Tso, moving through Chushul War Memorial to Rezangla War Memorial, and concluding at Hanle. At nearly 14,000 feet, Pangong Tso set the stage for another demanding stretch of the journey, with the expedition navigating constantly changing altitude, terrain and riding conditions. From Pangong, the expedition reached Rezangla War Memorial, a landscape carrying the memory of one of the defining chapters of India's military history. The journey continued through these historically significant landscapes, carrying their stories of courage and service forward. The expedition features a diverse range of Hero Motocorp two-wheelers deployed across the journey: Splendor Plus, HF Deluxe Pro, Extreme Series, Glamour X, Destiny, Zoom Series. Different motorcycles, different capabilities coming together for one expedition across Ladakh's constantly changing terrain. Behind them is also the Hero Motocorp team on the ground, providing the support that keeps the machines, riders and the expedition moving through every leg of the journey. The expedition concluded its 7th day at Hanle after a journey that took the riders from Pangong Tso through Rezangla and deeper into eastern Ladakh. With the machines on the road and the Hero team supporting the expedition on the ground, Hero Tiranga Trails 2026 continues its journey towards its culmination.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing control. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट। खुद अपनी आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते शहीद होते देख के मैं आया हूँ। बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं, बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को, सारी दुनिया को टैग करें और हम तक पहुंचाएं यार। इस वक्त यहाँ पे एम्बुलेंसेस की तादाद जो है वो कम पड़ गई है, गाड़ियां कम पड़ चुकी हैं। लोग जो है अपने जख्मियों को अपनी मदद आपके तहत कोई इधर से पकड़ा हुआ को उधर से, और रोड्स पे लहू ही लहू है। लगातार फायरिंग जारी है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम फलस्तीन में हैं, कसम से इन्होंने वो हालत बनाई हुई है।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and a very good morning. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV. My name is Nayan, and this Independence Day we are bringing to you on Republic TV the Nationalist Collective Conclave. It is an Independence Day special, and it is a powerful tribute to the extraordinary men and women who have served India with courage, with pride and unwavering devotion. Now, from the stories of our brave hearts and their ultimate sacrifice to the families who continue to carry their legacy with strength, pride and also a lot of conclave. This conclave is going to bring you a powerful conversation which is going to center around courage and service and also patriotism. This is a day to remember those who put the nation before themselves. The Nationalist Collective Conclave is about their sacrifices. It is about our freedom, and it is only coming on Republic TV. Right now it's time for the headlines of the hour. Let's delve in.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Rape convict and nephew of former Karnataka CM Kumaraswamy Prajwal Revanna is caught with a mobile phone inside the prison. Former MP Prajwal is seen enjoying VIP privileges. NIA arrests first accused in Manipur IED attack case that killed 2 children. Major revelations come to light in Air India dope scandal. Pilot and cabin crew did not undergo beneath the breath analyzer, and the equipment was not available at the Phuket airport. ISI-linked Pakistani spy arrested by Bengal STF. Investigation reveals that the spy was recruited by the ISI and has been operating in the country using a fake Indian document. PTI leaders plan to meet Imran Khan at the Adiala jail in accordance with the order of the Islamabad High Court. Long march carried out in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for the release of Imran Khan. Monsoon session of Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is ready to debate, expected to speak in the Lok Sabha. Viewers, bringing to you the first breaking news of the hour, where a video is showing the rape accused and former MP Prajwal Revanna casually chatting on a mobile phone inside his prison cell. This has raised fresh questions over the security and also the access to prohibited items in Bengaluru's jail. Now, this is the Parapanna Agrahara Central Prison where this video has been captured. The jailed official is suspended over security lapses, but Republic is asking why stop at the jail, superintendent, and why not go further. In fact, this is the video on your television screen where Prajwal Revanna, the former member of parliament, has been seen, and also he's a rape accused, casually chatting on his mobile phone inside the prison cell, which is raising fresh questions over the security and access of these items, prohibited items in the jail. Now, the video is coming shortly after a central crime branch raid was conducted in the security prison, which led to the recovery of this 5G smartphone charger, and also some pen drive and other items were recovered from Revanna's cell and also other inmates. I have my colleague joining us right now for a conversation. Abhishek is joining from the newsroom. Abhishek, very, very shocking revelations, not just a telephone, but also pen drive and all of these illegal or prohibited items, let me call them, were found in the cell. What are the other updates that you have for us?
Well, as soon as the Home Minister Priyank Kharge received a video where Prajwal Revanna, the former MP who was in the Parapanagrahara jail for a rape crime which he had committed and for which he had proven guilty, was in Parapanagrahara jail, a video emerged where he was casually talking on the smartphone, and at this point of time Priyank Kharge took the permission or probably informed the Chief Minister that there will be a raid conducted by the Central Crime Branch or the CCB as we call it. And at that point of time, only the VVIP cells were targeted, and in Prajwal Revanna's cell, a mobile phone, a charger and a pen drive was found. And with respect to the video what we are showing on the screen now, it is very clear that Prajwal Revanna is having a conversation with one of the other persons over the phone, and at the same point of time Prajwal Revanna conversing is also being recorded from another mobile phone. So at this point of time it is very clear that it is not only one or two phones, but there are a couple of persons who are using a top-end phone within the jail proximity. And at this point of time, the superior officials who were supposed to take the scrutiny of the jail inmates, or probably who should be taking care of not allowing the unwanted material in the jail, have been placed under suspension, is what the DG of the prisons, Alok Kumar, has mentioned as of now. On the other hand, there will be a departmental inquiry against the officials who allowed the telephone or the mobile phone within the inmate cell. But it also raises the concern over the treatment for which is being allowed to the VVIP prisoners within the Parapanagrahara jail as of now, because Priyank Kharge, while talking to the media, had mentioned it is not only Parapanagrahara but across the state VVIP treatment is being given to the inmates by the officials who have already been under the radar of the Home Department, and there will be severe action initiated against them. But at this point of time, is it a wantedly created video? Is it a video which had been recorded wantedly to showcase the facilities being given to the inmates? Is another fresh question which has to be answered by Priyank Kharge at this point of time. But a thorough search and a thorough investigation will be conducted is what Priyank Kharge has mentioned as of now. But we are awaiting the response, a detailed response from Alok Kumar, because he very particularly spoke only about Prajwal Revanna using the cell phone in the cell. But how about other persons can use the phone in the cell is the question which has to be answered by him, and we are awaiting a detailed response from Alok Kumar in the next couple of hours.
Right, Abhishek, do continue to stay with us. We are also getting reactions from the Karnataka Home Minister Priyank Kharge on the rape convict and former MP Prajwal Revanna, who was found with a mobile phone inside the Karnataka jail. Let's take a listen in.
Visited the prisons recently. I found there are certain difficulties that prisoners also were expressing, and more importantly I found a lot of faults within the administration. So that's why yesterday we decided to have a surprise raid in the prisons, and in certain cells with certain high-profile prisoners and other prisoners, we have found mobile phones, notebooks and things that are not allowed in the prison. So quite naturally, it seems like our people are hand in glove with with the prisoners, and yes, and we have issued a strict warning. We are also doing a digital infrastructure audit of the prisons, and whoever is responsible for ensuring these prisoners have access to devices or have access to anything that is more than necessary will be taken to task.
Is it suspended, sir?
It's in process. It will be done probably by afternoon.
Mr. Prajwal Revanna, not only Prajwal Revanna, sir, there are such.
It does not matter who the prisoner is. X, Y, Z.
Well, that was Priyank Kharge giving us his 2 cents on the matter. But right now I have Mr. Ashok Gowda, who is the BJP spokesperson, joining us for a conversation right now. Mr. Ashok, I'm sure you've also got the chance to see these visuals, and there's some VIP treatment that has been given to this former convict of a rapist. What is your understanding and take on the situation?
Very simple. Since the Congress government took over from the past 39 months, the jails have become resorts across the state, and this is a very simple matter. And this was blown up even 6 months back, and Mr. Priyanka Karge, who thinks that he is right on the law. What was he doing since he had a portfolio from past 2 months? If he says that this is on my instruction, I am doing it, and what was he doing? Because Home Department portfolio was allocated to him, even I think on 4th or 5th of June. And since then, what was he doing? And this was happening means, should he not answer for all these things? And we see, it's not a Home Minister who has to sign. It is a DG Prisons who has to sign, and that is Alok Kumar has signed. See, before Alok Kumar ji, who had taken over as a DG, this was a very regular thing. And after Alok Kumar ji had taken over, this was not happening at all. And after Priyanka Karge has taken over, probably all this, and he's a prisons in charge also. He's not just a Home Minister, he's a prison minister also. And we all know that for postings, what kind of a money is being lobbied around. So probably this is directly linked to Priyanka Karge, and she should be the one who should be answering, and she is questioning everybody.
But Mr. Ashok,
unnecessarily targeting the smaller people, superintendent or any people lesser than that, is not going to solve the problem unless and until you make the department as corrupt. And we all.
But Mr. Ashok, Priyank Kharge goes on to say that he is the one who kind of got this investigation to come to the forefront in the first place.
We are exactly questioning the same intention of Mr. Priyanka Karge. He is just blatantly lying, and he is saying in the words. But in terms of the actions, we all know that for each police station there is an auctioning which happens even today. So even there was 167 police inspectors who were transferred last week, a few days back.
Precisely,
and even there
yes.
also there is exchange of money. So in the prisons also there is exchange of money, and that is why the superintendents and other people get corrupt and let all the prisoners do all this kind of resort activities.
Right, Mr.
And who is going to answer that? Mr. Priyanka Karge should answer that. We all know that to get posted into certain, you can do cross verification, or you can do the sting operations.
Mr. Ashok Gowda, that was an excellent point raised by you. Very rightly said, a lot of transfers have actually taken place, and we will of course track this story about the VIP privileges that are taking place in jail. Thank you for joining us for a conversation, Mr. Ashok, and also Abhishek, who joined us from the newsroom. Right now, viewers, we're getting another breaking news, which is coming from Pakistani spy, which was arrested by the Bengal STF. Now, this spy has been identified as Rana Rauf. He's a resident in Faisalabad in Pakistan. But Rauf adopted the name Waqf and obtained the Indian identity documents and carried out his fictitious address in Topsia, which is in Kolkata. Now, this gentleman is being accused of collecting sensitive information related to the army, the border security, the forces, and right now we're also getting to believe that this Pakistani spy was arrested by the Bengal STF. He's accused of collecting sensitive information, and also investigators believe that he was directly recruited by the ISI and had been operating in the country using fake Indian documents. On your television screen is the visual of Rana Rauf, who is a Pakistani spy. We're calling him a spy because he was living under a fictitious address in Topsia, Kolkata. Now, also it is my understanding that his fake documents were kind of exposed when the SIR was collected, and now we're getting to understand that he was using his fake identity not just to collect sensitive information, but also pass it on to his Pakistani handlers in the Army's Eastern Command in Kolkata. There was a shocking aviation safety scare involving an Air India pilot. Sources are saying that the pilot was under the influence of drugs while partying with the cabin crew during a short Phuket layover. Now, this is just hours before the takeoff. The pilot was later found disoriented in the cockpit floor, forcing the co-pilot to intervene, stabilize the aircraft, and also eventually land in Delhi. Now, even as the flight has suffered 11 hydraulic failures in just 2 minutes and it dropped approximately 300 feet, questions are being raised about the cockpit safety, the pre-flight checks, the crew conduct, and also whether India's aviation rules are strict enough to prevent such incidents from taking place in the first place. We have all the details in this report. Take a look.
A raging party just hours before takeoff. The Air India pilot under probe took crew members to a party during the Phuket layover.
The pilot in command of the Air India flight that witnessed nearly 300 feet loss of turbulence mid-air while returning back to New Delhi from Phuket was in such a bad state that he had to be assisted even to come out of the flight after it landed in the national capital. What sources tells us is that the crew members of this particular aircraft have now in fact lodged a complaint with the airline, clearly claiming that the pilot in command was in a state that was not a good state to be in command of an aircraft mid-air.
A disoriented pilot found sitting on the cockpit floor under the influence of drugs. Sources have confirmed to Republic that the pilot in command tested positive for drugs. Marijuana was found in his bloodstream. The situation had turned so bad that the co-pilot had to stabilize and land the aircraft. Meanwhile, 11 hydraulic failures occurred in 2 minutes. The flight had dropped 300 feet. Stunning onboard failures revealed.
Now, this is a post-flight report, the maintenance post-flight report of the flight in question, AI 2379. And what this report, what the single sheet shows is all the warning signs, the warning maintenance status messages that were triggered immediately after the drop. You have here, this is GMT, the timing at which all of this was reported. It's recorded in GMT. At least 12 or 13 of them were triggered. Low pressure hydraulic system, hydraulic blue and yellow system low pressure, hydraulic green and blue system low pressure. The auto flight, the autopilot was triggered off. It was disconnected at least twice.
What explains these hydraulic failures?
If this is showing as triple hydraulic failure, I am surprised. How come the aircraft was taken all the way to Delhi? Now, if there was clear air turbulence, as I have said, which is what happens over Bay of Bengal, that side moving over from Myanmar, Southeast Asia, coming this side into India, then that can be a combination along with this which can cause the downward draft. This is my first take on these messages that have come, that could have caused the draft, downward draft of 300 feet.
India's lenient flight rules make another Ahmedabad disaster almost inevitable. A pilot loses his license for only 3 months. The pilot loses his license only after the third offense. Partying negligence cannot take precedence over human lives.
Viewers, bringing you more breaking news right now, which the PTI leaders have planned to meet Imran Khan at the Adiala jail, which is in Rawalpindi. Now, the PTI leaders have planned to visit Imran Khan, and they said that this visit was in line with an Islamabad High Court order. Now, PTI has set a deadline for the authorities to allow access to Imran Khan. Now, the party is also raising concerns over the 73-year-old former Prime Minister's health and the medical care and safety of his in the prison. Now, there is a meeting that has been planned by the PTI leaders, which is in line with the Islamabad High Court orders. Now, PTI, which is the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, which is a former party of the Pakistani side. Now, they have warned that they will continue restrictions on the meeting. And if the PTI has warning that if there are going to be continued restrictions on meeting Imran Khan, it could lead to a nationwide protest and further political escalation. I have my colleague Goswami joining us for a conversation. Goswami, what are the updates that you have for us? One, and also there is an understanding that his health has deteriorated. What do you understand of that?
See, amid the health concerns for the former Prime Minister of Pakistan and the chief of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, the leadership of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, especially Sohail Khan Afridi, who happens to be the Chief Minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, he has said that we will be meeting Imran Khan as per the court orders, though we know that all the court orders have been defied by the Adiala jail administration as well as the Punjab government, and no access has been given to the senior leadership or even the family members of Imran Khan to meet him. But these demands come at a time when we have seen that there are regular reports flowing in, though they have been cited as rumors by many of those who have been closely associated with the family of Imran Khan, but the rumors say that Imran Khan is no more. So keeping that in view, the leadership of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has requested the Adiala jail authorities to allow him to meet. They said that if they don't allow them, they will be going for a long march. Many of the protesters, the supporters, they are ready in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where the PTI holds a government, that they will march towards Rawalpindi.
Right, you're right, Goswami. In fact, that is another breaking news that we're getting at this hour. The thousands of supporters have actually gathered in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for a massive public rally that was organized by the Pakistani Tehreek-e-Insaf, which is the PTI party. Now, this is to demand the release of the jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Thousands of protesters have supported their gathering in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and this rally is called for the release of the jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Goswami, I'm going to come back to you. What are the details that you have on this rally that has been organized by the PTI supporters? Goswami?
Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Sohail Khan Afridi, while speaking to media, has said that we are going to start this long march. He said that he intended to start this after the approval from Imran Khan, but since the administration is not allowing them, they will be starting this, and this will only end when Imran Khan asks them to do so. He said that whatever the directions will come from Imran Khan, that will be abided in the true spirit. But one thing is very clear, that this long march will now start from the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and will head towards Islamabad. That is going to be a major challenge at a time where we are witnessing that there are regular protests that are taking place in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and now another front being opened against the Shahbaz Sharif government and the Pakistani army, because the PTI has been very vocal that whatsoever is happening on the directions of the Pakistani army and the establishment. So they want the establishment to actually step back and allow them to meet Imran Khan. But now the situation is really critical for the administration, reason being that without meeting Imran Khan, they are going to start the long march from the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where the PTI has their government, has the hold over the government, police, administration. So that is going to be a major challenge for them.
Right. Thank you, Goswami, for tracking that piece of news for us. And I'm sure in due course of time, the government will wake up and give some answers to this, to the PTI leaders and supporters. But right now, we're heading into a short commercial break. You're watching Live in Breaking on Republic TV. My name is Mayan. Coming up after a short break, Monsoon Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate, expected to speak in the Lok Sabha today.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट। क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है,
स्ट्रॉन्ग
है, हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर, एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग, सॉलिड डिफेंस।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
umpteen number of times the Modi government also has taken resort to, whenever the bills have come where you need to take all stakeholders involved on board, and the government from the day one has said that insofar as FCRA is concerned, we can speak to anyone and everyone and convince them that this is not targeted at them. For example, the Home Minister himself has met not once, twice Christian delegations and told them that it is not targeted at them, and that even if you look at it, the contributions to church or churches in the country or missionaries just about 15 or 17%. And I have spoken to people in the agencies and they say that it's, our law also needs to be made compatible with, for example, the FATF.
Yes.
Likely, Niranjan, I can.
Coming up after the short break, major revelations come to light in Air India dope scandal. Pilot and cabin crew did not undergo breath analyzer test as the equipment was not available at the Phuket airport.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
अनीस, घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
खुद अपनी आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते शहीद होते देख के मैं आया हूँ। बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं, बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को, सारी दुनिया को टैग करें और हम तक पहुंचाएं यार। इस वक्त यहाँ पे एम्बुलेंसेस की तादाद जो है वो कम पड़ गई है, गाड़ियां कम पड़ चुकी हैं। लोग जो है अपने जख्मियों को अपनी मदद आपके तहत कोई इधर से पकड़ा हुआ, को उधर से, और रोड पे लहू ही लहू है। लगातार फायरिंग जारी है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम फलस्तीन में हैं कसम से। इन्होंने वो हालत बनाई हुई है। फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना इस वक्त बेशुमार नौजवान शहीद जख्मी हो चुके हैं और बेशुमार लोग शहीद हो चुके हैं। देख सकते हैं ये पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की बर्बरियत और जो है ना पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना ये देखें किस तरह नौजवानों को, किस तरह स्ट्रेट फायर मारे जा रहे हैं नौजवानों को। ये देखिए पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस ने स्ट्रेट फायर किए नौजवानों को। ये देखें लोग, हमारे बहुत सारे भाई जख्मी हो चुके हैं। अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे, अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे। क्या सूरत आली।
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Rape convicted nephew of former Karnataka Chief Minister Kumaraswamy, Prajwal Revanna, caught with mobile phone inside prison. Former MP Prajwala seen enjoying VIP privileges. NIA arrests first accused in Manipur IED attack case that killed 2 children. Major revelations come to light in Air India dope scandal. Pilot and cabin crew did not undergo breath analyzer test as the equipment was not available at Phuket Airport. ISI-linked Pakistani spy arrested by Bengal STF. Investigations reveal the spy was recruited by the ISI and has been operating in the country using fake Indian documents. PTI leaders plan to meet Imran Khan at Adiala jail in accordance with the order of the Islamabad High Court. Long march to be carried out in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for release of Imran Khan. Monsoon session of the Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate. Expected to speak in the Lok Sabha today. Viewers, welcome to Headlines this morning with me, Karun Seth, on Republic. Now, first breaking news coming in. Pakistani spy has been arrested by the Bengal STF. Now, the spy has been identified as Rana Rauf, who's a resident of Faisalabad in Pakistan. Now, Rauf adopted the name Waf and obtained forged Indian identity documents carrying a fictitious address in Topsia, Kolkata. He's accused of collecting sensitive information related to the army, border security force and the railways. Now, investigators believe that he was directly recruited by the ISI and had been operating in the country using fake Indian documents. The fraudulent documents have been seized by the authorities. Rauf had allegedly been tasked with collecting sensitive information relating to the Army's Eastern Command in Kolkata, BSF movements and railway infrastructure and operations. Now, we have Kishwe on the phone line with us to give us more details on this. Kishwe, indeed, a big headline coming in. So this guy is supposed to be an ISI operative, and what we hear is he's been operating in Kolkata using forged documents. Tell us more about what was he tasked by the ISI to do and what all has been obtained from the investigation so far.
Well, exactly. This is a very important piece of information that you just gave out, that he was completely recruited and directly controlled by the Pakistani ISI. Now, the update is he has been sent to 14 days of custody, police custody by the courts yesterday. Rana Rauf, who was staying in Habra. First, he was staying in Kolkata. Later on, he shifted to Habra, a place very close to Kolkata. And he was staying with the alias name of Wahab. Now, he had a associate as well who has been arrested yesterday. This associate's name is Ijaz, who was arrested from Topsia in central part of Kolkata. This Ijaz was the person who was staying in Kolkata for more than 30 years. And he was supplying all the documents that were necessary to this Wahab or Rana Rauf, as we are calling him. Now, this Rana Rauf had direct connections with the Pakistani ISI, to whom he was sending sensitive information, including information about new railway projects, information about VIP movement and movement of ministers and MPs and MLAs in Kolkata. And also he was sending information about the army camps in and around Kolkata. So all this information was documented by Rana Rauf while he was traveling, and he was sending back to Pakistan, and Egypt was helping him. Both of them have been arrested. These people entered India through Nepal, as we are getting to know, and they traveled to Nepal from Pakistan in a flight. Now, as they entered India, they also traveled to Bangladesh a few times, and they were also in connection with the Bangladeshi terrorist organizations like the JMB and others. So all this information are being investigated by the investigators, the STF and other detective departments of West Bengal Police, and they are trying to know whether more people are connected with this Rana Rauf and Ijaz, and who are staying in Kolkata or around West Bengal.
All right, thanks for giving us more details on this. We'll continue to track this story and keep tracking what's happening here. All right. The United Nations Security Council has officially attributed the November 2025 blast near Delhi's iconic Red Fort, which claimed the lives of 11 people, to Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. Now, according to the 38th report of the Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team, The report, which has been published on Monday, stated that the AQIS had continued to evolve from a fragmented organization into a regional terrorist entity, developing logistics and financial networks while operating through decentralized, small and scattered cells. Now, this is the United Nations Security Council report, which actually links the Red Fort blast to AQIS. Now, remember, this was the Red Fort blast that had happened, and it has been linked to Al-Qaeda. Now, Al-Qaeda is the entity which is operating. This is Al-Qaeda in Indian subcontinent, AQIS, which has been attributed for and responsible for the blast by a United Nations Security Council report. Now, we have Gursimran for more details on this. Gursimran, we hear that the UNSC has attributed AQIS for the attacks that happened in the Red Fort. Give us more details. What more do we know on this?
See, this is in line with what the National Investigation Agency has concluded in its charge sheet that was filed in the Delhi Red Fort bombing case, because it has attributed it to the Ansar Ghazwatul Hind, which is one of the factions related to the Al-Qaeda of the Indian subcontinent. Now, the similar thing has come in the United Nations report as well, in which it has clearly mentioned that once again, for using the Bangladesh network, they are trying to revive themselves, and the bombing that has taken place in the national capital, which has left several dead and many injured, that was the handiwork of the AQIS through its one of the faction, that is Ansar Ghazwatul Hind. That is the same findings that the National Investigation Agencies too had when they carried out a detailed probe in the Delhi bombing that has taken place. So this is another external threat that we are looking into, because the module that was doctor's module that was called that was operational and carried out this attack, that was the one that was behind this. And we have seen time and again that these kind of a small lone wolf modules are being operated by the terror groups, especially the AQIS, so that they can instill terror among the people and carry out these kind of lone wolf attacks, so that they do not find any direct connect with the larger terror groups, but these are the lone wolf group that establishes themselves, gathers these equipments and the explosive, and then carry out attack.
All right, thanks Gursimran. We'll continue to track this story. And in other news coming in a fiery and compelling analysis, Major General G.D. Bakshi breaks down the emerging geopolitics of the region and warns of the growing Sunni NATO alliance involving Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Now, explaining how Pakistan remains a constant security threat to India and a persistent regional headache, Major General G.D. Bakshi makes a strong case for why India must proactively safeguard its national security interests and geopolitical strategy.
Pakistan is a Sunni state. We need the Shia state of Iran on our side, very much, because Pakistan is our main headache in chief. China may be the main threat, but in conjunction with China, Pakistan is our biggest security headache. And if we have to deal with it, Iran does not have a single nuclear bomb, yet it is an existential threat to Israel. How about Pakistan, an Islamic fundamentalist jihadi state, which has 180 nuclear warheads? A Sunni NATO consisting of Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, being established in the Middle East, being established in Mecca, is a serious cause for concern. One way of looking at it is that it's a hot air balloon. You know, the day it was signed, the very next day, Saudi Arabia was attacked by the Houthis. And what can Pakistan do? What can Turkey do to come to the aid of Saudi Arabia? But I don't think that's quite the alpha and omega of it. The problem runs much deeper. The problem is more for India and Israel. They may not come to the aid of Saudi Arabia against Iran. They may not come to the aid of Saudi Arabia against the Houthis. They may quite ask them to resolve their local problems themselves, you know. But the simple fact of the matter is that coming together against India is very much on the cards. I mean, why go very far? When Operation Sindoor was on, Turkey had provided almost 1,000 drones, Bayraktars and Baykar Shibas, etc., to Pakistan. Turkish drone instructors, they were sitting in the Murid drone headquarters of the Pakistan Air Force, from where they were operating the drones, helping the Pakistanis operate the drones. So that was already NATO, Sunni NATO or no NATO, that was already a fact. Turkey and Pakistan are already in a undeclared quasi-alliance. Turkey had gone out of the way to help Pakistan. It had sent a frigate also to call on Karachi, do a port call at Karachi. It's another thing that when it saw the Indian aircraft carrier battle group, it simply switched off its bloody transponder and fled the scene as fast as it possibly could. But we cannot take this lightly. Turkey has, sir, the largest army in NATO. It's another fact that Turkey is almost come to blows with Greece and Cyprus. Greece is also part of NATO. So there are these strange paradoxical elements inbuilt into this situation. But the fact of the matter is that Turkey has the largest army in NATO. What can that army do in the case of a war? I am not very sure, because to physically intervene, it has to come across the Mediterranean, it has to come across the Arabian Sea, where the Indian Navy can blow the smithereens out of any Turkish armada trying to come to the help of Pakistan. Drones, yes. Some aircraft on loans, yes. Some pilots on loan, yes. Beyond that, I have my doubts and question marks. It is China which provides far greater support, intelligence support, ISR support, also support in terms of 80% of Pakistani Air Force, Navy and military equipment is of Chinese origin. They have provided them the SH-15 truck-mounted howitzers whose barrels started firing. They have given them the JF-17s, the J-10s, and they were making quite a song and dance about how they had helped to down certain amount of, as they claimed, Rafales. No concrete evidence has ever been provided. But I mean, Pakistan is very fond of claiming astronomical figures as part of its claim line. So the simple fact is that this axis is likely to pose a threat, limited threat. It's not an existential threat, but certainly a limited escalation of threat to India and to Israel.
All right, viewers, now amid terror threats ahead of the Independence Day, a massive search operation has been launched on the outskirts of Jammu forests. Now, forests and traditional infiltration routes are being searched by the Special Operations Group, which is the SOG and CRPF. Multiple teams of the SOG have launched operations across the Jammu region, areas with dense vegetation that could serve as natural hideouts for terrorists are being thoroughly scanned. Now, elite anti-terror units trained in jungle warfare are being inducted into densely forested areas for deep combing. Senior police officials also part of large-scale search operations underway in Jammu. Now, this is ahead of August 15th, which is the Independence Day celebrations. Now, in Jammu's Arnab sector along the international border,
sounded a 360-degree alert right ahead of the Independence Day amid the regular threats from the adversary that they are trying to carry out terror attacks to foment trouble in India. And right now we are reporting from the outskirts of the Jammu city, where in the forested area, the Special Operations Group, which is the elite anti-terror unit of the Jammu and Kashmir Police, along with the CRPF, is carrying out large-scale area domination exercise, because these are the areas that are prone to the regular threats. While on the other side, I'll request Sarjeevan to go there. You will see that these Jawans of the Special Operations Group and the CRPF, they are carrying out the large-scale combing operation. These giant mountains and the grown vegetation, these are a major challenge, because this could be used by the Pakistani terrorists to sneak in into the Indian area. They want to sneak in, establish their hideout, and then they want to carry out terror attacks. But keeping everything in view, these men of the CRPF that have been specially trained for the Naxalite operations as well as the jungle warfare operations, along with the SOG Jammu, which has many of the operations on its shoulders and has carried out many successful operations, including the elimination of major threats in the Jammu region. They are presently carrying out the combing operations. You see how they are tactically moving. Reason being that here, if you have to move, you have to keep yourself alert to the 360 degree. The reason is the regular threat from all across, because this entire area, it has grown vegetation, which makes it really very challenging for the security forces to man. And here, if you walk for 10 minutes, it is next to impossible. But these men are specially trained for these kind of operations. These are those operations in which they not only ensure that the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of the country remains intact, but they also ensure that those threats that are coming from across the border, those threats can also be contained, because they also save the civilian lives. And on the 15th of August, these morning searches are very important to ensure that if there is an attempt by the Pakistani terrorists or the infiltrators or their overground workers, that attempt can be foiled, because that attempt means Pakistan is trying to disrupt peace, and the peace to be established is the priority and the domain of these forces that are carrying out round-the-clock vigil in the area. With Sarjeevan Kumar, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.
All right, viewers, coming up, monsoon session of Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate, expected to speak in the Lok Sabha today.
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस ट्रायल लूंगा श्योर वाटर रेजिस्टेंट है स्ट्रॉन्ग है हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर एडवांस्ड जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग सॉलिड डिफेंस ट्रायल में पास सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Umpteen number of times the Modi government also has taken resort to, whenever the bills have come where you need to take all stakeholders involved on board, and the government from the day one has said that insofar as FCRA is concerned, we can speak to anyone and everyone and convince them that this is not targeted at them. For example, the Home Minister himself has met not once, twice Christian delegations and told them that it is not targeted at them, and that even if you look at it, the contributions to church or churches in the country or missionaries just about 15 or 17%. And I have spoken to people in the agencies and they say that it's, our law also needs to be made compatible with, for example, the FATF.
Yes.
likely, Niranjan, I can tell you that the bill might be brought in tomorrow and then referred to the JPC.
Okay, now this is turning out to be the tricky one because we just had some more information that, for example, the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP wants the bill to go to the JPC, not withdraw or against, but they're saying, okay, send it to the JPC. But they also need the support of Sharad Pawar's party for delimitation. Not sure about this session, but at least in the next, maybe they're testing the numbers. But it's turning out to be really tricky with the numbers. What's the game plan there?
Well, you see, so far as numbers for a legislation like FCRA is concerned, that's not a problem, Niranjan. It does not need a special majority, in the sense it does not need a constitutional majority. Now, delimitation obviously is a work in progress. The government has a certain deadline in mind, for sure. But remember, delimitation by its very nature, apart from needing a special majority in parliament, in both the houses of parliament separately, it also needs to be passed by more than half the number of states. So it's a long process. I don't think, as I understand it, and as I have been given to understand when I have checked, that FCRA is in any ways linked with delimitation, or is there a trade-off? Because FCRA is a very significant piece of legislation connected with national security and overall social harmony. And to that extent, I think the government is very clear. FCRA is independent. Bring it in, give it to the JPC, let the views be discussed, let all the stakeholders be involved and pass it perhaps in the winter session of Parliament. But so far as delimitation is concerned, obviously it's a work in progress. The government is slowly inching towards that special majority, and hopefully once it's clear that this is happening, it will come in.
Okay, so Abhishek, you had at the beginning of this Parliament session, you had the CJP protest. You had attempts made to stall Parliament. I think it's become increasingly clear, even today when the BJP held a news conference, when the Home Minister, they wanted Home Minister to come in. Home Minister saying, okay, I'm coming in. He's ready for a debate. But they don't want the debate, right? It appears that the intention was to stall Parliament all along. Delimitation is not there. FCRA is the only significant piece of legislation now coming in, which is so controversial.
Day 7 of Hero Tiranga Trails 2026 took the expedition deeper into eastern Ladakh. Beginning at Pangong Saw, moving through Chushul War Memorial to Rezangla War Memorial, and concluding at Hanle. At nearly 14,000 feet, Pangong Saw set the stage for another demanding stretch of the journey, with the expedition navigating constantly changing altitude, terrain and riding conditions. From Pangong, the expedition reached Rezangla War Memorial, a landscape carrying the memory of one of the defining chapters of India's military history. The journey continued through these historically significant landscapes, carrying their stories of courage and service forward. The expedition features a diverse range of Hero Motocorp two-wheelers deployed across the journey: Splendor Plus, HF Deluxe Pro, Extreme Series, Glamour X, Destiny, Zoom Series. Different motorcycles, different capabilities coming together for one expedition across Ladakh's constantly changing terrain. Behind them is also the Hero Motocorp team on the ground, providing the support that keeps the machines, riders and the expedition moving through every leg of the journey. The expedition concluded its 7th day at Hanle after a journey that took the riders from Pangong Saw through Rezangla and deeper into eastern Ladakh. With the machines on the road and the Hero team supporting the expedition on the ground, Hero Tiranga Trails 2026 continues its journey towards its culmination.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे,
सफल बनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
खुद अपनी आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते शहीद होते देख के मैं आया हूँ। बहुत हालात ख़राब हो चुके हैं, बहुत हालात ख़राब हो चुके हैं। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को, सारी दुनिया को टैग करें और हम तक पहुँचाएं यार। इस वक्त यहाँ पे एम्बुलेंसेस की तादाद जो है वो कम पड़ गई है, गाड़ियाँ कम पड़ चुकी हैं। लोग जो है अपने ज़ख्मियों को अपनी मदद आपके तहत कोई इधर से पकड़ा हुआ, को उधर से, और रोड पे लहू ही लहू है। लगातार फायरिंग जारी है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम फलस्तीन में हैं कसम से। इन्होंने वो हालत बनाई हुई है। खाली करेगा, खाली करो, खाली करो। फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना इस वक्त बेशुमार नौजवान शहीद हो, जख्मी हो चुके हैं और बेशुमार लोग शहीद हो चुके हैं। देख सकते हैं ये पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की बर्बरियत और जो है ना पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना, ये देखें किस तरह नौजवानों को, किस तरह स्ट्रेट फायर मारे जा रहे हैं नौजवानों को। ये देखिए पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस ने स्ट्रेट फायर किए नौजवानों को। ये देखें लोग, छोड़ो। हमारे बहुत सारे भाई जख्मी हो चुके हैं। अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे, अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे। क्या सूरत आ गई? सूरत बहुत बुरी है, सबको मारे जा रहे हैं लगातार। पिछले तक 3 बंदूक।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good morning, viewers. We're live and breaking this Independence Day. Republic TV brings you the Nationalist Collective Conclave, an Independence Day special, a powerful tribute to the extraordinary men and women who served India with courage, pride, and unwavering devotion. From the stories of our brave hearts and their ultimate sacrifice to the families who continue to carry their legacy with strength and pride, the Conclave brings you powerful conversations on courage, service, and much more. A day to remember our heroes, those who put the nation before self. Nationalist Collective Conclave. Their sacrifice, our freedom. Only on Republic TV. It's time for the headlines.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Rape convict and nephew of former Karnataka CM Kumaraswamy Prajwal Revanna caught with mobile phone inside prison. The former MP Prajwal is seen enjoying VIP privileges. Major revelations come to light in Air India dope scandal. Pilot and cabin crew did not undergo breath analyzer test as the equipment was not available at the Phuket airport. ISI-linked Pakistani spy arrested by Bengal STF. Investigation revealed the spy was recruited by the ISI and has been operating in country using fake Indian documents. PTI leaders plan to meet Imran Khan at the Adiala jail in accordance with the order of Islamabad High Court. A long march carried out in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for release of Imran Khan. Monsoon session of the parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate. Expected to speak in Lok Sabha. A very good morning. The UN Security Council officially has attributed the November 2025 blast near Delhi's iconic Red Fort, which claimed the lives of 11 people, to Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, according to its 38 report of analytical support and sanctions monitoring team. The report, published on Monday, stated that the AQIS had continued to evolve from a fragmented organization into a regional terrorist entity, developing logistics and financial networks while operating through decentralized, small and scattered cells. Huge updates coming in, viewers, on Republic TV, and this is coming just after the UNSC. I repeat, the UNSC has said that the Al-Qaeda offshoot is behind the Red Fort blast that killed multiple people. And this is a big breaking news coming in on Republic TV, viewers. And I want to talk a little bit more about what has happened in this story. We'll go across to my colleague, Goswami. This Al-Qaeda offshoot was operating through these scattered cells, decentralized cells. And this is a report which has come out. If you could help our viewers understand the biggest update we have for all our viewers who are watching right now on the Red Fort blast.
Yes, Shivangi, you have rightly mentioned, and this is in line with what the National Investigation Agency has concluded in its investigation in the Delhi bombing case that took place and shook the entire country, that the national capital has been attacked. This has been done by the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, their frontal organization, Ansar Ghazwatul Hind, and that was the part of the investigation that has been carried out by the central team of the National Investigation Agency, because this was a larger plot. These are the lone wolf group attacks that were planned by the Al-Qaeda in different parts of the country. A series bombings were planned, but it was all due to the efforts and the operation that was carried out by the Jammu and Kashmir police in the Faridabad, busting of the doctor's module that exposed this entire modus operandi. And in a haste, one of the Fidayeen bombers carried out this attack, in which several people lost their life, many others were injured, and this was one of the major attacks that we have seen after Operation Sindoor taking place. But now the United Nations Security Council has come out with a report that reads that this is a handiwork of the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, and they are trying to galvanize, radicalize the people, especially in the Bangladesh, to carry out these kind of attacks. So this is a major threat. Apart from the terror groups that are operating from the Pakistan, there looms a larger threat of those being radicalized in the other side of the Bangladesh, and then being used to carry out attack. And also these kind of doctors modules, these are highly educated youth that are being radicalized into terror ranks, and this is the plot of the Pakistani and the terror groups based out of India. They are trying to disrupt peace, and now the United Nations Security Council report has set the record straight that the investigations that have been carried out by the National Investigation Agency are in line with what the UNSC has also concluded.
All right, thank you, Goswami, for getting us all those details. I'll be coming back to you for more on this big breaking news that we have for all our viewers. This is a developing story. And we move ahead, viewers. A shocking aviation safety scare involving an Air India pilot. In fact, sources say the pilot was under the influence of drugs after partying with cabin crew during a short Phuket layover just hours before takeoff. Now, the pilot was later found disoriented on the cockpit floor, forcing the co-pilot to intervene, stabilize the aircraft, and eventually land it in Delhi, even as the flight suffered 11 hydraulic failures in just 2 minutes and dropped 300 feet. Many serious questions are being raised. Listen in and take a look at this report for more.
A raging party just hours before takeoff. The Air India pilot under probe took crew members to a party during the Phuket layover.
The pilot in command of the Air India flight that witnessed nearly 300 feet loss of turbulence mid-air while returning back to New Delhi from Phuket was in such a bad state that he had to be assisted even to come out of the flight after it landed in the national capital. What sources tells us is that the crew members of this particular aircraft have now in fact lodged a complaint with the airline, clearly claiming that the pilot in command was in a state that was not a good state to be in command of an aircraft mid-air.
A disoriented pilot found sitting on the cockpit floor under the influence of drugs. Sources have confirmed to Republic that the pilot in command tested positive for drugs. Marijuana was found in his bloodstream. The situation had turned so bad that the co-pilot had to stabilize and land the aircraft. Meanwhile, 11 hydraulic failures occurred in 2 minutes. The flight had dropped 300 feet. Stunning onboard failures revealed.
Now, this is a post-flight report, the maintenance post-flight report of the flight in question, AI 2379. And what this report, what the single sheet shows is all the warning signs, the warning maintenance status messages that were triggered immediately after the drop. You have here, this is GMT, the timing at which all of this was reported. It's recorded in GMT. At least 12 or 13 of them were triggered. Low pressure hydraulic system, hydraulic blue and yellow system low pressure, hydraulic green and blue system low pressure. The auto flight, the autopilot was triggered off. It was disconnected at least twice.
What explains these hydraulic failures?
If this is showing as triple hydraulic failure, I am surprised. How come the aircraft was taken all the way to Delhi? Now, if there was clear air turbulence, as I have said, which is what happens over Bay of Bengal, that side moving over from Myanmar, Southeast Asia, coming this side into India, then that can be a combination along with this which can cause the downward draft. This is my first take on these messages that have come, that could have caused the draft, downward draft of 300 feet.
India's lenient flight rules make another Ahmedabad disaster almost inevitable. A pilot loses his license for only 3 months. The pilot loses his license only after the third offense. Partying negligence cannot take precedence over human lives.
Viewers, getting to some breaking news coming in. USS Abraham Lincoln sailors tried to jump overboard amid extended deployment. So big updates coming in here, viewers, on Republic TV. And multiple sailors aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln attempted to jump overboard amid growing mental health pressures and poor conditions during its prolonged deployment against Iran after spending 250 consecutive days at sea without touching any land at all, viewers. 6 US sailors aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier have tried to jump overboard and attempted suicide as catastrophic mental health crisis reaches breaking point over exhaustion, food shortages, water contamination, worsening conditions, supply shortages, lack of basic hygiene products, and poor quality rations aboard the carrier. The 5,000 sailors and Marines have been deployed at sea for more than 250 consecutive days without making land due to the ongoing Iran war, with the deployment originally anticipated to end in May but now extended with no publicly announced return date. Families describe conditions aboard as hellish. US Central Command commanders warn of an impending mutiny if conditions aboard the ship do not change for the better. I want to go straight across to my colleague Ishan. Ishan, this is very terrifying news that we are breaking for our viewers. So the sailors aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln are jumping over, and they are doing this because they're going through a lot. They have not seen land for ages. They're having a lot of mental trauma. They're in depression. Ishan, what's the latest that we are learning for our viewers?
Absolutely. The USS Abraham Lincoln departed its home port on November 21, 2025. Now it has been approximately 260 days, and this is possibly a very long deployment, although the longest deployment post World War II is of 300 days, but this is approaching that mark. Now this initially was deployed in the South China Sea for some live fire drills in November, and thereafter it was redirected for its efforts in the Gulf of Oman, and now it is enforcing a blockade of Iran. So all of this has put the crew of USS Abraham Lincoln under a lot of stress. Now this is an active deployment, so there is possibility of attacks from Iran, there is possibility of drone attacks, and so they have to be on high alert at all times. It has been engaging with several other threats that have come from the Iranian side and the Houthi side. So this is a very dangerous situation it has been put in, and it is serving alongside USS George W. Bush, which has also been deployed for around 150 days now. So both of these carriers that have been deployed for the Iranian war that the United States is conducting have reached a situation where the crew is under a lot of stress and are possibly reaching the breaking point. After this also we see that the newly appointed general that is in charge of the US naval deployment received concerning images and concerning testimonies from the families of the sailors that have on board USS Abraham Lincoln, that the availability of clean water, the availability of mail, that is the communication with the families, have been disrupted, and so all of this is being faced. So USS Abraham Lincoln has two very short port calls, that was once in Oman for refueling and once in Guam for replenishment of arms. So this is a very concerning situation that is developing, and we'll have to monitor it very closely because this will directly affect the outcome of the US-Iran war that is there. Back to you.
Absolutely, Ishan. Thank you for getting us all those details. And Ishan is saying it's a very long deployment for those sailors, and they're having a lot of issues because they have been on board for a very long time. Thank you, Ishan. I have to move ahead, viewers. Fresh questions have emerged over the role of Pakistan's ISI when it comes to the Nepal communal violence. Now, remember that we're getting all these updates coming in. Claims have emerged regarding the alleged involvement of Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI, in the communal violence in Nepal's Sunsari district. These claims call for an investigation into the presence of foreign clerics' activities in broader areas and a suspected funding network. It is reported that Nepal's intelligence agency, in a prelim report, has submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs, has recommended an investigation into the activities of foreign clerics and potential networks operating in the border regions. So this is a big update coming in, viewers. This is a prelim report, by the way, and these questions are being raised about the alleged role of Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI, following the communal violence in Nepal's Sunsari district, which shares a border with India. So getting these updates, is Pakistan behind the violence which took place in Nepal? So these are the latest updates coming in. It's reported that in Nepal's intelligence agency, in a prelim report submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs, has recommended an investigation into the activities of foreign clerics and potential networks operating in the border regions. And viewers, let's move ahead. A major security lapse in prison has raised questions over VVIP treatment for rape accused and former MP Prajwal Revanna. During a surprise CCB raid at Bengaluru's Central Prison, a phone was reportedly recovered from Revanna's possession. Police sources have also claimed that pornographic videos were found on that device. Revanna, the grandson of former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda and nephew of former Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy, is serving a life sentence in a rape case. Take a look.
A surprise prison raid has exposed a major security lapse involving rape convict and former MP Prajwal Revanna. The CCB searched high-profile prisoners at Bengaluru's central prison and recovered a phone, pen drive and charger from Revanna's possession. The lapse has triggered action against the prison officials. Assistant Superintendent Eranna Rangapura has been suspended, while Bengaluru Central Prison Superintendent has been served a show-cause notice. CCB sources reportedly found more than 80 to 90 pornographic videos downloaded on the device and are examining the phone's data. Revanna is the grandson of former Prime Minister H.D. Dev Gowda and the nephew of former Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy. The former MP is serving a life sentence after being convicted in a rape and intimidation case. The case had earlier seen Revanna leave for Germany after
साफ है कि छात्र हितों का स्वांग रचाने वाले ये सभी राजनेता और छात्र हितों के स्वघोषित झंडा बरदार बनने वाले तमाम किरदार बहुत स्पष्ट है कि उनका छात्र हितों से कोई सरोकार नहीं है। पुनः मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी पंजाब के मामले पर मुंह में दही जमा कर बैठे हुए केजरीवाल जी और झारखंड पर कान में तेल डालकर बैठे हुए राहुल गांधी जी और जंतर मंतर के सभी किरदारों से पूछना चाहता हूं कि आप किसके फरमाबरदार बनकर चुप्पी साध कर बैठे हुए हैं। इसलिए मैं एक पंक्ति में पंजाब से लेकर झारखंड तक के छात्रों के कष्ट को अभिव्यक्त करते हुए कहना चाहूंगा, पंजाब से लेकर झारखंड तक छात्रों को बड़ा मलाल है। न्यायालय के निर्णय से अब उठते कई सवाल हैं, उन्हीं सवालों से बचने को संसद में यह बवाल है। ठीक है सर, एक क्वेश्चन नहीं वो जितना
All right, getting you some reactions coming in from the BJP. The BJP was holding a press conference there and reacting to a couple of issues. And they have said that is the Punjab government lying? Well, it has been proven that Punjab government was lying all along and asking for accountability from the Aam Aadmi Party. He's saying that the ones who were involved in the Jantar Mantar protest do not represent the students. So he was speaking on the student protest issue and speaking about what is happening in Punjab. Getting you some breaking news coming in, viewers. Giriraj saying response to Rahul Gandhi, says Rahul Gandhi is acting like an unruly person. He says in a quote here, a challenge has been issued for 5 days, yet Rahul Gandhi is running away for when the discussion takes place. It will be about the nation, about Jharkhand, Kerala and Punjab. This is not a Congress government that would shy away from a discussion. So this is coming at the backdrop after Union Home Minister Amit Shah said very, very clearly, viewers, that Amit Shah is ready for a debate. He is waiting for the opposition to turn up and speak about whatever they want to speak about. And Giriraj Singh says that Rahul Gandhi is running away and he is acting like an unruly person. Let's go ahead and play out that statement, viewers.
गांधी एक ऐसे व्यक्ति का नाम है जो गांव में कोई शोख बच्चे होते हैं, उदंड होते हैं, मनबढ़ू होते हैं, उनके चेहरे को देखिए, उनके हाव भाव को देखिए, उनके बात करने के तरीके को देखिए। ठीक ही कहा हमारे एक सांसद ने कि वो एक उदंड मनबढ़ू लड़के की तरह काम करते हैं। वो एलओपी है। चैलेंज करता हूं। अरे क्या चैलेंज करोगे? संसदीय व्यवस्था में कोई ऐसे करता है चैलेंज? संसदीय व्यवस्था में एक गरिमा होती है, एक लोकतांत्रिक मर्यादा होती है। और आप जिस ढंग से कर रहे हो, अमित शाह का तुलना आप करोगे? अमित शाह ने करके दिखा दिया, देश को बता दिया कि 370 धारा देश में कैसे हटता है, 35 से कैसे हटता है, सीए कैसे लागू होता है। और आप तो चाहते हो कि देश में आतंक फैले। आप अर्बन नक्सल की भूमिका में हो। आप में हिम्मत है तो संसदीय व्यवस्था में अपनी बात कहना, दूसरों की बात सुनना। आते हो रन एंड हिट, हिट एंड रन, हिट किए, रन किए। ये कर रहे थे, अमित शाह ने उनके सारे पोल खोल दिए, क्योंकि उनमें हिम्मत नहीं। वो नीट पर चर्चा करे। जब गोली पर चर्चा होगी तो नीट पर तो चर्चा होगी ना। और जब नीट पर चर्चा होगी तो देश के अन्य राज्यों की चर्चा होगी कि नहीं, पंजाब की चर्चा होगी कि नहीं, कर्नाटक की चर्चा होगी कि नहीं, हिमाचल की चर्चा होगी कि नहीं, झारखंड की चर्चा होगी कि नहीं। हिम्मत नहीं हुआ और उन्होंने 100 करोड़ से ऊपर गरीब के गाढ़े कमाई के पैसे को स्वाहा कर दिया। और ऐसा स्वाहा किया कि 80% सांसद चाहते थे उनके भी कि हम चर्चा में भाग लें, अपने क्षेत्र की चर्चा करें, विकास की बात करें। लेकिन एक मनबढ़ू सन की उदंड व्यक्ति के कारण दुर्दशा संसदीय व्यवस्था की हुई। आज तक के इतिहास में ऐसा नहीं हुआ जो इन्होंने अपने जिद पर अड़ के। और कांग्रेस को तो चुल्लू भर पानी में डूब जाना चाहिए। खड़गे जी जो इतने उम्र दराज है, 2-2, 3-3 पुस्त देखा है, और वो तो ऐसा राहुल गांधी की चमचागिरी में लगे रहते हैं। छी 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 छी। कांग्रेस को डुबा देने का काम करेंगे, संसदीय व्यवस्था को डुबा देने का काम किया।
And we were seeing a short break. Do not go anywhere. ISI linked Pakistani spy arrested by Bengal STF. Investigation reveals the spy was recruited by the ISI and has been operating in the country using fake Indian documents.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Umpteen number of times the Modi government also has taken resort to, whenever the bills have come where you need to take all stakeholders involved on board, and the government from the day one has said that insofar as FCRA is concerned, we can speak to everyone and anyone and everyone and convince them that this is not targeted at them. For example, the Home Minister himself has met not once, twice Christian delegations and told them that it is not targeted at them, and that even if you look at it, the contributions to church or churches in the country or missionaries just about 15 or 17%. And I have spoken to people in the agencies and they say that it's, our law also needs to be made compatible with, for example, the FATF.
Yes.
Frankly, Niranjan, I can tell you that the bill might be brought in tomorrow and then referred to the JPC.
Okay, now this is turning out to be the tricky one because we just had some more information that, for example, the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP wants the bill to go to the JPC, not withdraw or against, but they're saying, okay, send it to the JPC. But they also need the support of Sharad Pawar's party for delimitation. Not sure about this session, but at least in the next, maybe they're testing the numbers. But it's turning out to be really tricky with the numbers. What's the game plan there?
Well, you see, so far as numbers for a legislation like FCRA is concerned, that's not a problem, Niranjan. It does not need a special majority, in the sense it does not need a constitutional majority. Now, delimitation obviously is a work in progress.
Welcome back, viewers. A helicopter crash has been reported in central Texas, where an Army Apache helicopter went down during a routine training flight, killing both people on board. Now, the Apache crashed in a field near Fort Hood. Take a look. A routine military training flight turned deadly in Texas after an Army Apache helicopter crashed. According to military officials, the AH-64 Apache helicopter crashed in a field near Fort Hood. Cliff Coleman, spokesperson for the Bell County Sheriff's Office, confirmed that both the people who were on board died in the accident. The impact sparked a wildfire, forcing authorities to evacuate several nearby homes. However, no cause of the crash was immediately announced. Further investigation relating to the crash is underway. Fort Hood is a massive base with 214,968 acres that is used to train and deploy heavy forces. Much for coming right up. Monsoon session of the Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate. Expected to speak in Lok Sabha today. Stay tuned.
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट। खुद अपनी आंखों के सामने लोगों को मरते शहीद होते देख के मैं आया हूँ। बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं, बहुत हालात खराब हो चुके हैं। इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को, सारी दुनिया को टैग करें और हम तक पहुंचाएं यार। इस वक्त यहाँ पे एम्बुलेंसेस की तादाद जो है वो कम पड़ गई है, गाड़ियां कम पड़ चुकी हैं। लोग जो है अपने जख्मियों को अपनी मदद आपके तहत, कोई इधर से पकड़ा हुआ, को उधर से, और रोड पे लहू ही लहू है। लगातार फायरिंग जारी है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम फलस्तीन में हैं कसम से। इन्होंने वो हालत बनाई हुई है। फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना, इस वक्त बेशुमार नौजवान शहीद जख्मी हो चुके हैं और बेशुमार लोग शहीद हो चुके हैं। देख सकते हैं ये पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की बर्बरियत और जो है ना पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस की फायरिंग से जो है ना, ये देखें किस तरह नौजवानों को, किस तरह स्ट्रेट फायर मारे जा रहे हैं नौजवानों को। ये देखें पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस ने स्ट्रेट फायर किए नौजवानों पे। ये देखें लोग, छोड़ो। हमारे बहुत सारे भाई जख्मी हो चुके हैं। अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे, अल्लाह की जात हमारे भाइयों की हिफाजत करे।
क्या सूरत आली? सूरत बहुत बुरी है, सब तो मारे जा रहे लगातार। इतने तक 3 बंदूकों हेडशॉट की इन्होंने किया है, कितने के बच्चों ने 15 से 20 लोग और बहुत सारे बंदूकों ने।
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Viewers, top headlines. Rape convict and nephew of former Karnataka CM Goswami Prajwal Revanna caught with mobile phone inside prison. The former MP Prajwal seen enjoying VIP privileges. Major revelations come to light in Air India dope scandal. Pilot and cabin crew did not undergo breath analyzer test as the equipment was not available at Phuket Airport. ISI-linked Pakistani spy arrested by Bengal STF. Investigation reveals the spy was recruited by the ISI and has been operating in the country using fake Indian documents. PTI leaders plan to meet Imran Khan at Adiala jail in accordance with the order of Islamabad High Court. Long march carried out in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for release of Imran Khan. Monsoon session of the Parliament ends today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says ready to debate, expected to speak in the Lok Sabha. Big breaking news, viewers coming in. Let's go straight across to what is happening at the Parliament complex. And once again, we see that there is a protest. I repeat, a protest which is taking place. These protests are asking questions. The protesters there, the NDA MPs are protesting and they're asking questions. They're saying that why did the Congress party crack down on the students in Jharkhand? They're asking these questions. In fact, these protests have been happening for the past few days now, where the NDA MPs are holding placards and asking why was there brutality on the students in Jharkhand, the Jharkhand students who have been protesting.
संसद के मकर गेट पर आज आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर।
Alright, so one more day of protest at the Parliament complex. The NDA MP is targeting Rahul Gandhi over the alleged police action against job aspirants in Jharkhand, accusing him of being culpable for the crackdown or incapable of taking action against the state government. And very clearly, we see that the NDA MPs have slammed Rahul Gandhi for running away from a debate in Parliament on student protests in Jharkhand, where the Congress is a part of the ruling alliance. The NDA MPs are holding a protest again. Let's go to the call from my colleague who's joining us. Chandrakala is joining us live right now on the phone line. Yes, Chandrakala, pictures coming in. It looks like there are two protests which are happening. Protest versus protest. NDA MPs protesting. Opposition MPs protesting. Yes, Chandrakala.
Yes, in fact, last day of the monsoon session, and we could see that still protests are ongoing. We can see now the opposition is protesting against the government sloganeering, asking for Union Home Minister Amit Shah's presence in the parliament. It's very, it's the kind of hypocrisy they are maintaining throughout the entire session of parliament. Yesterday, since day before yesterday, the Union Home Minister himself has spoken and said that he's ready to come to the parliament and respond to each and every detail pertaining to the student protest in Jantar Mantar. Yet the opposition continued to create ruckus, and now we could see that the visuals are coming in as far as protests are concerned. Of course, we know that the NDA MPs are also staging a protest against the alleged police action on job aspirants in Jharkhand, and also against Lok Sabha leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi for avoiding a debate on protests in different parts of the country during the monsoon session of Parliament. And now that, of course, we know that the NDA MPs have been accusing Rahul Gandhi of being culpable or incapable